Okay, what's up, everybody? This is the What Are Sports podcast with Dawson.
Yo,
We're covering strictly the NBA,
strictly.
so it's gonna get dirty.
We got to come up with those balls. So
Oh,
My name is Julian.
and I'm Dawson.
I think the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about our week one overreactions. The NBA started last week. A lot of stuff has happened so far, and we're just gonna say some things that need to be shared across the league.
Uh, I think this Golden
You have
State
six,
Warriors team we're seeing is the best team we've seen since Kevin Durant's on there. Even better than when they won the chip back in what, 22? I
yeah.
think this team's even better than that right now, looking at the start. There's no Klay Thompson, but Jimmy Butler with the added defense, Buddy Hield with his scoring, and then Steph Curry continuing at his age to be this nuclear. It's just we're seeing a different Warriors team that we haven't seen in a long time.
Odds.
Pods, he's not that good. I'm not gonna lie. That's the thing. If he's not performing this good and the team is still being like this dominant, that just shows like the depth they're having. Quentin Post, he started last night, had four threes as a starting center. Pat Spencer, not even really playing, it's still being like a key backup guy. It's just like I said, I don't think we've seen a team by the Warriors this good since they had KD. Like I said, even better than when they won the chip. They're 4-1 right now, just dominant in this Western Conference. Some could say it's a lucky start for this season, but they've played good teams already and have already been beating them. Beat Lakers, even though without LeBron, Lucas still had I think 43. Beat them first game. They beat the Nuggets already. That Nuggets game also, Aaron Gordon had what 50 on 10 threes. Like if they're winning these kind of games already, like it's gonna be scary. And they were projected, I think, sixth in the power ranking before the season started, which I thought was way too high, but I mean, they're showing why they deserve to be there, and honestly, could be even higher.
So they haven't lost yet,
They lost one game. I don't remember who it was to, but they're 4-1.
and they beat the Clippers last night. They held them to
They
79
did.
points, which is
hmm
pretty crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So this team, like, I honestly do think this team is better than, like I said, the team that won the chip. So depending on how the rest of the league pans out, like this Warriors team is gonna be very scary to be watching.
Yeah, dude. They definitely convinced me as well.
hmm
I think, it's hard to judge them against that 2022 team because that team was pretty good.
hmm
But I felt like with that team, I think they were at their peak like ceiling. Like I don't think that team could have been any better.
hmm
And I don't really know about this team, but I think this team could have a higher ceiling.
Right.
So,
Like I said, I think from the defensive standpoint, we're already seeing because I think Jimmy Butler, when he got added to the team last year, I want to say they became like the number one or two defensive team in the league, which honestly I don't fully get because I don't see Jimmy as that much of a difference maker in that aspect, but clearly something's going right with that. So I think they're a
mm,
much better defensive team than they were that year. And like I said, the offense is just clearly coming with it. If Steph is still this dominant, even without having Klay Thompson, just having other weapons to use.
yeah, yeah. And Draymond Green continues to take guys out.
It's like
So,
some things never change, man.
no, exactly. I agree with that take. I think
Okay.
they're, I think they could be a top five team.
Oh, I do too, absolutely.
Contenders. I think they could be contenders.
I think their
And it's
conference
funny
final
because,
team is their like floor right now.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, which is exciting. I really like a good Warriors team.
Me too.
Davis, the deep catch. Wembanyama there for the block.
So for my take, I think Wemby. I don't think Wemby has a ceiling,
I fully agree. I thought the exact phrase the other day, no ceiling.
and it's funny because he keeps growing. But when I watch him, you know how when you watch players, let's pretend like VJ, you think, okay, he could be the next Anthony Edwards
hmm
or something like that. But like when I watch Wemby, it's like I'm not even comparing him to Braun or Jordan. I'm not even thinking, oh, he could be a top 10 player of all time. I'm like, I think he could be the greatest basketball player to ever play,
Absolutely.
which is insane because you don't have those thoughts. I don't think of
hmm
that when I watch Cooper Flag,
hmm
unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Um, his defensive like input is insane.
hmm
Like he could win the defensive player of the year for the next 8 years in a row.
I don't think
He's
we've seen, I'll see if you agree with this, someone, a two-way player to this caliber, like
oh
ever.
no, and like people say, oh, Giannis was that player, but um, I don't. I think his defense is a step above Giannis.
Oh, yeah. Just thinking about this now, I'm curious because, like, I mean, you said it too. I don't compare him to a LeBron or MJ or anything. Like, I think. when we talk about comparisons, though, I think the closest thing we could probably say, because people are trying to say Bol, but if I'm thinking strictly about how their game is, I feel like it might sound weird when you think about it, makes sense, is Anthony Davis would be make sense because of the defensive presence, but also having the offensive game. Because like I said, a lot of defensive guys, don't have the offense to go along with it, and vice
Hmm.
versa. So like thinking of like great two-way players, I think that would be the only comparison. And we saw game one, like it was not a contest between
That
those
was
two.
yeah, that was
It was
that
not
was
even close.
scary.
That was scary.
I think maybe Hakeem could
Mm,
also be a
I
comparison.
like that one. Hmm.
I had a thought. It was like I never really feel bad about NBA players. Like they're getting paid millions of dollars.
Hmm.
Their lives are pretty amazing.
Hmm.
But I actually feel bad about these coaches, these organizations that are gonna have to
Mm.
deal with Wemby for the next 10 to 15 years.
Or
Like
like
I
what
feel
do you do? What's your game plan
no,
against that?
literally. It's like what why even try at that point? But I feel like that's thinking like that is it's crazy because it's actually there's a lot of reality and like truth behind it. Like
Hmm.
this could genuinely be the reality.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting to see.
Yeah,
Uh, I fully agree with that take. My next one is the Sixers. I mean, it's already like early, but they're looking like they're gonna run the East already. And VJ Edgecombe, breakout rookie. I pray he continues to, keep doing his thing and stay healthy because he's explosive. So some of those dudes are kind of scary, but like he has been going crazy. Tyrese Maxey's been picking up right where he's left off. He's going crazy. Honestly, Joel Embiid, even on his minutes restriction, like his first game, he was doing cardio, but after that, he had like 20, and then I don't remember the other stats, but in 20 minutes. So like he is still dominant. And but honestly, if I'm the Sixers right now too, if I want to continue this, I've been saying this for years, but I think now is the time to do it because you have all these other pieces. Is trade Embiid, finish the process. Just so you can have someone more consistent. You got two guys now in VJ Edgecombe and Maxey, great
hmm
backcourt that can run the offense. If you can trade Embiid, get a good defensive anchored center, and you can get a lot of pieces for him. Just because, I mean, the health is still such a, you don't know what's going to happen with him. The minutes restrictions already, like he's killing it. So I mean, his trade value is still going to be high, but the efficiency is still there if you wanted to keep him. I just think, you have a new direction you can be moving in, and people were saying that last year too, even with Tyrese Maxey, but now you have Edgecombe, which is another piece you can move in. And I also forgot Paul George is even on the team because he's hurt. So like maybe getting rid of both those guys and just because there's still trade value there. And I mean, it's only going down if Embiid keeps getting hurt and Paul George getting older. So I think they're gonna run the East, especially if they make these good moves and continue to make the teams better. I mean, the Paul George OKC trade turned out to be one of the most lopsided trades ever, where whenever he left OKC, they got all those picks,
Yeah.
and OKC is living great. So, keep using PG for that cycle, but then also you can use Embiid just to keep the team going, keep it young, and yeah, I think they can run the East.
And they have Jared McCain too,
I
who's
forgot
pretty
he's hurt
good.
too, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. A healthy Sixers team, I think, could easily be the top team in the NBA, not even just in the East.
Yeah.
But because that's the thing, like I keep talking about trade Embiid just because of health, but like when he is healthy, like he honestly might be the best player in the league. Like whenever he won MVP. I thought he should have won the year before too, just because of how like dominant he is. But I mean, health is part of the game, so you just gotta weigh your options. I mean, they've been saying trust the process, but why can't the process partially be trading just to like upgrade,
hmm
I don't know,
I
man.
agree. I I agree with that. I do want to see Embiid play this season though.
I do
It's
too.
been
So I hope this.
I do like watching him play, be dominant.
Mhm. I just hope that minute restriction gets lifted at some point because I think he's at 20 right now. That's the most he's allowed to play, which, like I said, he's dominating in that 20 minutes, man. He's not happy
Hmm
with it either, though. I saw some comment he made talking about how he feels there's not really a point to him playing if it's gonna be for like 20 minutes. He can't even get hot. And I'm like, well, how do you think these role players feel too? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you're still dominating too, just do what you can in that time and just work to get better for when you can come back.
Yeah. No, I think they should do something about Embiid for
Hmm.
sure. And I still they'll get at least this cat value. That
Hmm.
is a huge amount, so they could do a lot with that.
Right. That's what I'm saying with
And
Paul George too, just because I mean he's hurt. He's like on Embiid's level of how much he's gonna play almost, with injuries.
hmm
So I'm like figure out something to do with that too. Because I mean, I love watching Paul George play too, but if they're not going to be on the court, then you got to figure something out.
Yeah, this is a kind of a controversial one, and I kind of want to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay.
But we have guys in the league like, wait, by the way, have you seen the Giannis travel? I think it happened last
I
night.
just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have guys like SGA, James Harden, Joel Embiid, who it's kind of like this like new era of NBA players who are like very, very, very good.
hmm
But it's like they're taking advantage of these rules that
hmm
like favor offensive players.
Right.
And I think it gets a little bit redundant talking, like complaining about SGA, getting 20 free throws a game, or James Harden or Joel Embiid a couple years ago. Like I think that conversation is boring because of course these guys are going to be doing what they do every night when you know the league has taken a turn offensively. Like
hmm
you're not going to get these super high scoring games or like players dropping 50 every night that like we do in today's NBA if you don't have um like these offensive rules that are like changing the trajectory of everything. Like
hmm
SGA, James Harden, these players are just the cost of um how the league is different now. And if you like the game, you're gonna have to accept that this is just how it's going to be. I mean, I respect your opinion if you say the league should just change its rules and it should be less offensive and all of that, but you can't say that you like part of the NBA and then you don't like this part because I think they're very correlated in that respect.
I think you're right, where this is like a big NBA thing, because especially when we see like the Olympics and like FIBA ball is where you see, well, like a lot of people like to call it real basketball because there's not a lot of foul calls. They let them play really physically. The rules are a little different about like what is a foul, what's not, versus and just other things going on. Um, it, it's tough because I mean, like you said, it makes sense that some of these guys are getting these calls because they're superstars. And if you're an NBA fan, you know that that is a thing where like the the
Hmm.
better you are, the more calls you are gonna get. It's, I mean, I hate watching it. I'm sure a lot of people do. I think you are partially right. I think it is part of the game, and I think it's what the NBA kind of wants to, especially with Adam Silver calling it the highlight league, to where like you don't even gotta watch the games. You can just look at the highlights, look at the box scores. Because I mean, I don't remember how it was like 26 or something. I think the other day SGA free throws against the Nuggets. I think something like that. Something crazy where I'm like, that just feels
It was like half of his,
unwatchable.
yeah,
That's
it
what
was
I'm
like half of his
saying.
points. It was crazy.
Um, but the thing with it too was a few years ago they were trying to crack down on it where they were talking about certain foul calls weren't going to be made. An example they used to give was Trey Young jumping back into defenders. And they did that for like 2 weeks and then they just went back to calling everything. So I think I think the NBA knows people don't like it too, but they're trying to push the agenda. So that's why they don't criticize it, but they also don't defend it very much. They're trying to just stay off the topic and hope other people stay off of it too. They know it's not basketball, but they know that's what they want for the thing. So I think you are right where like you you can complain about it, but like you have to understand this is part of the NBA. Like if you like the NBA, this is just gonna be part of the game. But at the same time, I mean, like I hate it, so I'm not with it. But it's also interesting to see who does get these calls and who doesn't. Obviously, MVP SGA, he's gonna get him. James Harden in his prime, he's gonna get him. Well, an example I had though was like Trey Young, even Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson still gets most of them, but like the smaller guards, they used to get more calls as they've like crept out of the top, let's say like five players down to like seven, eight. I feel like as their like league value technically goes down, their fouls calls go down. Like Trey Young doesn't get, I mean, he still gets a lot, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't get as much as he was getting when he was like averaging like 30 and 10. So I do think it's interesting just to see the disparity whenever like these new superstars arise. Like you could tell
Yeah,
who's at the top versus who's not based on the calls they're getting.
it's so interesting. And it's like you feel that the league wants certain players and then they're tired of other players. Like if like
Mm,
the NBA, like okay, Trey Young, you don't need to get all these calls anymore. Like the Hawks aren't that good anymore.
they're not. And I mean, they want these other players like because if Trey Young is averaging 32 and SGA is averaging 32, it's like, all right, we need to have a conversation. But like, if the NBA could be like, all right, I'm gonna make sure these free throws go down a little bit so that points per game goes down just enough, it's like they're like, oh, well, there's a disparity. and
Yeah,
like points. So like it's clearly who's better.
I think that's actually a true thing though. It's not even trying to like, pick at apples and oranges.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh wait, I found the game. I want to see how many free throws this was. Um, where is it? 23 for 26 from the line. So I'm like, and he had 50 something. So yeah, it's, it's just how it is, I know, but it's crazy to see.
I know Reeves had like 22.
Yeah, he did in his 50 bomb. That was
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't watch that game, so I don't know like oh actually, but I did see a video about it because was it the Kings they played, I think?
Yeah.
They were complaining about the foul call. So I saw a video of a recap of every like foul that was called, and only like one of them like wasn't really a foul. The rest of them were like just clear hits, and he wasn't really embellishing the
Hmm.
contact either. It was straight up foul. So it's different when it's that versus you're watching. So I saw an SGA play the other day of him like falling on a fadeaway. They called a foul, and there was no contact there. So I'm like,
Was it the one where he like bumps into him and then
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, you know. So they gotta do what's best to promote the league, but
yeah,
ah.
yeah. I agree.
Mhm. Okay, so very early, just saying this, starting 0-3, the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion's back. He's been playing. He's been skinny. They're not winning games. I mean, it's still early, like I know, but do we already think, because they've been years trying this now, Zion, hasn't really played much, and now he's finally coming back, but is it too little too late? Do they just blow everything up and get rid of him and then, try to start over? Because I used to love, I don't remember what year this was. I want to say 2018, 2017. There is this Pelicans team that had Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, and Rondo, which I don't remember the rest of the team what they had, but I love that combo of like the pure point and then two dominant bigs. I think DeMarcus Cousins and probably Anthony Davis got hurt, so we never got to see a full potential of that team. But that was the last time I saw that team. I was like, this is solid. Um, it's been a long time. I don't think the Zion thing is working. Brandon Ingram's not even
Mm.
on there. I forgot they traded him. He's on the Raptors. But do we just give up on Zion right now, especially if you're the Pelicans, and just try to like move forward and like build something else? Because if I'm a New Orleans fan, I'm frustrated right now. We're supposed to have this
Oh, yeah.
decent team with this superstar, this next LeBron. I'm pretty sure he was at one point. Uh,
He was.
yeah. So I'm like, do they just blow it up? You think, or do they think? I mean, like I said, only been 3 games, but you're already 0-3 with the most hyped up Zion's been in a long time for being skinny and like ready to play. Like, do you start just giving up on him and just trying to figure out the next direction your team goes in?
I think they should. I don't think the Pelicans are going to. I think they're gonna still be a Scion because that's all that they have right now.
Mm-mm,
But I think they should blow it up. I mean, this team is not going to be that special. I don't think Zion's a leader. I
mm-mm.
don't think he's going to stay healthy.
With the thing with
There's
it
just
too
not.
is I like their guard play. They got Jordan Poole, DeJounte Murray. They still have what's his name? Oh, Grand Theft Alvarado. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they got some good young pieces in Derek Queen. He just played I don't say Maryland. I don't remember. He played just in March Madness past year rookie. They got other good pieces, Missy from Baylor. Hey, and just like good young pieces that like Zion, his trade value is still going to be high, even though, you know, he is not like performing the way he should. So I think they can build around that. They got pieces they want to use too, like Jordan Poole, um, Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins. Like they got good
Yeah.
pieces on this team they can use if they trade Zion. They could go in another direction where they're trying to build upward instead of kind of just staying where they're at, which is mediocre. But I mean,
Hmm.
like you said, I agree. I don't think they're gonna move on from him. I think he's too much of a project piece. Like, the city loves it when he does play. And then, just like you said, besides that, like I listed all these young guys, but none of them are stars in any way. So it's
They're not.
if they want people to come to the games, they got to have Zion still. So I agree that I don't think they will, but I do
Yeah.
think they should.
Yeah. I think that's a good take. I wasn't even thinking about the Pelicans.
Hmm.
So
I mean, in a stacked Western
maybe
Conference
that
too,
goes.
that's the thing. If you're not competitive,
Yeah.
what do you like? You got to like move. Your mindset has to be I don't want to say championship or bust in the West because I mean that's not always realistic, but you got to be at least like second round or bust because first round, like you're not playing. You're gonna get out immediately if that's just your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But going against OKC's Thunder or the Thunder, the Spurs, the Warriors, Nuggets, like those are four really good teams. And besides that, there's the West is still stacked.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Grizzlies last year. Like, are you
Hmm.
happy about your season after losing in the first round? You had a decent year, but yeah, you never
That's
had a chance.
that's what I would say against the Cavs too, even. One seed. It's like and then losing to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Pacers, I'm like, oh no, you know.
All right. So, did you hear about the sports gambling,
I
the whole
did
thing
hear
that
about
happened
it.
recently?
Okay. What I heard too, I just want to see if you know this because I'm not sure. I didn't know the Chauncey Billups thing was actually like unrelated. It just kind of happened to be at the same time as the score. Okay, that's what I thought. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure though.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
So, I think my take is the I know the Chancey Billups thing is I guess it does have something to do with it, but
mm,
it just shows that like coaches could have like conflict of interest and stuff. But
mm.
is this whole gambling thing going on, Terry Rozier? Is this a tip of the iceberg moment for the NBA where maybe LeBron is betting on games? All we're all like, is this a bigger thing than we realize? Is the NBA covering something up? Is there something that we don't know, or is this just the reality of when you have gambling in your league and you have a bunch of players who like to make money that some of them are going to be dumb and they're going to gamble on it and what like
Uh,
what
I think so. Obviously, I think more is going on. I don't know if the NBA is hiding anything per se. I think maybe they knew a little more about the situation, but they like if they didn't have proof, they didn't want to like go into it, is what I was seeing because I saw something about like they closed the investigation whenever something happened. I don't remember if it was like 6 months ago or how long ago it was originally when this was brought up. Uh, and then the FBI came in and did it. So I think maybe the NBA would just like, oh, if we can't prove it, then I'm not gonna like go into it because it's gonna look bad for the league. But also, I mean, I think it's hard to say because we are like we've talked about such an offensive league now. But just the explosion of players this season already, like scoring wise and stuff, is right after all this the gambling was taken care of. And so I've seen a lot of people online talking about, oh, well now that people are like, oh, I can't gamble anymore, they're all going crazy. So I think I really think it's a coincidence how like the league is going right now versus or at the same time as the gambling stuff. But that also could be a thing where like people are scared of being accused because I mean, if you're scared of being accused, you probably are doing something. Whoa, zoom out. Hey, but uh, it honestly does make it look like that though, where players are trying harder because they don't want to get caught looking like they're gambling, which makes me think they would be. So I think there might be a lot more going on. I don't think LeBron's doing it. I think I think LeBron has enough money to where he doesn't need to be gambling all that. But I do think it is a bigger thing than is known about in the league. Uh, and so I think at least for a while we're going to see an influx of just increased offense because people are going to be trying more, trying not to get caught. And I think maybe eventually it will go back down because, you know, it's less on people's mind, so they're like, oh, I can get back to this. But I'm not fully sure. Like I said, I think it is coincidental how good people are doing since the
mm,
stuff has all been brought up.
yeah, yeah, it is like it is definitely up in the air,
Hmm.
but I I guess I agree. I don't think Rozier was the only one who was doing it.
Nah.
I think there's definitely a couple more guys.
Oh wait,
And
Jonte
then
Porter got caught.
oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I think the second question I had when I was just like thinking about this over was like, is it more like for like a fan point of view or just like look following the league? Do you question the league integrity more about are these players gambling for the interest of themselves, or are you questioning the league's motives as a whole, like the players that they're favoring, um, rigging games, all of that stuff, which it's not proven, true or false, but a lot of people do talk about it. Like,
Mhm.
As a fan, or which one are you more concerned about, especially with gambling taking place, where these things actually have monetary value now?
Right. I think there's a little bit of both going on. I'm personally more like if, because like you said, there's no proof, so it's all an if. But if the league is fixing games, trying to do things, it just kind of ruins it from a fan aspect. If you're just watching the games, like how basketball should be played, because it should be the best players are on the best teams, or because the best teams are the best teams because they have the best players and they're doing the best, which typically is what it is. But these underdog teams that have chances like are blown away because of a agenda the league wants to push. But if you're betting, I think it's almost more if the players are doing this, it'll mess you up because they have all this inside information that you don't have. And so if they're actually betting and then going out with an injury or just, selling the game, like so people accusing Terry Rozier of, then it's like, if I'm not in on it, then everyone else or everyone that knows about it is winning except me. But also, it does go back to the league again where they're pushing the gambling agenda so hard. Every commercial break has some gambling ad. Every ESPN has their own betting now. And so they're pushing it because it is a money maker. And obviously, if they want to make money, they got to make sure you're spending and not winning too much. So it is a combination, but I think I'd definitely be more like focused on the league fixing stuff and
Hmm.
messing with me, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like, I think players gambling, that doesn't affect, to the scale that we know, that it doesn't affect the games that much.
Hmm.
But when you look at like the 2002 Western Conference Final,
Hmm.
you that was a huge situation,
Hmm.
and a lot of people feel like they just totally, um, and then you have skeptical about. So I do feel like I think a lot of people more are questioning the league's integrity, and then how does gambling have to do with that? And I think that's what side I'm on, where I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the league and what they're doing.
I like that 2002 when you brought up too, because it's such an interesting example because at the time I don't think there was any sports gambling, and if there was, like it was strictly like Vegas, like you could bet like little things. I don't even know if there was any at all though, so that one wasn't even for the that side of it. I think it was just you needed these big market teams at the time to be winning because the only like source of income you had was, I guess, some advertising, TV money, but then ticket sales also. So no one wants to go. They say at least no one wants to go see like the Kings play, but it's just interesting, like forcing an agenda that way when, like you said, gambling's not even around, like just the biggest thing now.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, thank you for checking out me and Julian's hot takes. Hope you enjoyed this episode of What Are Sports, and we'll see you all next week for the next episode.